What up, Twitter? Danny reporting here with my spectacles on. It's pretty late at night here, so the glasses definitely keep my eyes relaxed. I said I was going to post a video here just to show what I did on a track I recently posted called "Calling All Tribes," and just to show what I actually did. That I actually did do something. I've been checking out a lot of the tracks going on right now, and that have been released, and a lot of amazing tracks out there. This track was all right. It's not at a super duper high level, but I'm slowly but surely getting there. And that's what the competition is all about. Hopefully making it through to the school and learning some additional information to better yourself. And if I don't make it through, I'm gonna probably wind up taking some courses anyway. So either or, it's a good experience. But as for the track itself, there are a lot of tracks that I used. I'm gonna try to give you. This is the whole track, and it goes all the way down a bit. I used every single bus that was available. I did a lot of key compression, parallel compression, and I added a lot to the tracks. So it was kind of time consuming in that way, but it was enjoyable to do because I still like doing it. But I kind of lost myself in the track because there was so much going on. So the next track I'm working on is much more simpler, and I'm kind of learning shortcuts to go around things to make things a lot more faster. But this track here, we can start with the piano here. I have everything disabled because it will keep crashing if I have everything open, which was another problem that was going on, and why everything took so long, because I would be working on something and saving, and sometimes it would even crash and I wouldn't save and I'd have to start all over again. So right now, just for showing purposes, I have everything disabled. The piano is very simple. Let's see if I can stand this up here, please. Here we go. It's very simple chords. And that was the main part of the breakdown. And the piano and the breakbeat, I kind of was listening to some jazz in the car one day, like I do from time to time, and I kind of got the influence from being jazzy, a little jazzy, jazz hands here, a little jazzy, and trying to make the piano piece during the breakbeat, a little off key. And to tell you the truth, I took 5 takes on that, and finally after it was like 5 or 6. After the 6th one, I finally got it right, and I freestyled that whole piece. I didn't sit down and write notes. I don't write music. I don't read notes. I just play. I only know how to play by ear. I could play. I could freestyle and make my own stuff. I can hear melodies if someone wants to do a remix and just play along with it. That's something I've done for years and years now. I just pretty much went with the flow with the breakbeat. And I had echoes to the piano piece, and I used I used If I can scroll up here, that would be wonderful. Let's see. I put a delay on the piano, a multi-delay. The Pro Tools multi-delay. I kind of backed off on it on the first piano part, and then while I was playing along with the breakbeat, I kind of increased the delay a little bit to give it more of an effect. And the actual piano itself was the Native Instruments. That's the Vienna Concert Grand. Yes, I'm not playing a real piano, but I am playing the keyboard. If it's keys, you know, you're playing an instrument. And the Native Instrument plugin, the Vienna Concert Grand, I like the sound of that piano. So, you know, so that's with the delay, you know. You know, I kind of, you know, made it a little offbeat just to go with the breakbeat a little bit more and give it make it, you know, interesting. You don't really hear too many songs like that, so that's why I decided to do it. I know I've made tracks like that before, but not at this quality. And even though it's not the best level, it's my best track. So that's why I just wanted to do it again. And I like playing the piano on tracks. Or keyboard, you should say. I've been playing for a while, and I've actually gotten better over the last couple of years, even from when I was, you know, just a few years ago. I keep playing and I keep getting better, and I'll still keep getting better. So that was the piano part, and the breakbeat. I'll show you the where I played the piano, which is, well, actually right now I think I'm going to disable. I think I'm going to enable everything just to show you everything else. Intermission here. That wasn't too funny either. Let's see here. Let's see. So now let me go and enable all the tracks. Boom. Shift. Press. And it's probably going to crash with my luck. Make active. Okay, so now we're making the tracks active. Activating tracks. And then there's more on the other side of the piano as well. Let me just do that. So we can get the whole track up. Track, activate tracks, make active. Okay. So that's going on right now. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Oh, it crashed. I'm going to open it up real quick. See, this is what I was going through when I was making the track. And I was like Don Music on Sesame Street, banging my head on the piano. I don't know if you guys know who Don Music is. I posted a video. I don't know, but that's what I felt like. Let me go back to that. So, the actual breakbeat of the track. No, come on, can do it. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is track, make active. Okay, and that should do it. The breakbeat itself I did with Machine, this guy here. I have a Native Instruments Machine, and mind all the Pepsi cans over there, because that's my fuel for the night. The Native Instruments Machine, very powerful tool. It lets you, it's nice to see the pads right there and kind of like, get into it a little bit with the rhythm, and you can create. I'll try to get into that and show you the actual patterns I was working with. But here, let me just open up the window here. Edit. All right, there we go. Yeah, so the breakbeat, I made all the patterns in Native Instruments Machine and sent each track individually. I gotta make this smaller here. There we go. Sent each track individually, which is gonna be, there we go. So, no, that's not it. See, the track is so long. There we go. Here we are. The track is so long that, and right now one of my monitors is broke, so I don't have the double monitoring thing. Here we go. Okay, so these are all these tracks here. I have the break kick, the break hi-hat. That's what I labeled all these anyway. The breaks hat, and the breaks roll is kind of like a thing going on there. And I did all of them individually. And the bass kick right here, I initially had all the buses on one track, but I keyed so many things off to the bass kick that I had to do an auxiliary track, and that's actually what I did for the kick drum too. In the straight beat part of the song, there were so many things that I wanted to key off to the kick drum that I had to keep adding auxiliary channels to bus everything over to the tracks that needed to be compressed to the kick drum. So when you key everything off, it's just so much going on, especially when you have a lot of layers going. I guess it's better that I'm learning now to have maybe fewer layers with better effects rather than too many layers and you're not really focusing on putting a lot of focus on just one layer and making it probably sound a lot better with effects. So I might be over layering things, if you know what I mean. But the kick drum was this right here. Let me start from the beginning, because a breakbeat sounds weird when you don't catch it from the beginning. There you go. So that I made the breakbeat on Machine, which I will open up later through the patterns here. And then I also added on top of the breakbeat this layer, which is one of the hats. Okay, so that was another layer, and then I also layered it with this thing that kind of gets the breakbeat going more than anything, probably. This guy here, this layer. Which is probably a little too loud, but the tracks are silenced and they're not really going with the master plugins, so they're not going to be exactly how they sound when they're silenced than when the full track is playing. And then there's another layer to the breakbeat, which is this guy here. You can hear that little, it's kind of a little trickle, and then you can hear the two, right, so kind of like old schoolish right there from back in the day. And then there's the last layer, which you can hardly hear in the song itself, but there's this layer as well. But unfortunately, when the whole song is playing, it's hard to hear that layer, and it was kind of a little bit of a overload. I was debating on taking it out because you can hardly hear it to begin with, but I just left it in anyway, because I mean, I do like the pattern I made, and I guess I know it's there, which probably doesn't matter if everyone else can't hear it. But and then you have so that's a breakbeat and a piano. The synths here, I used Massive. I've been using Massive a lot lately. This is the intro of the song here. If I can have it play here. Let's see here what's going on. What? There we go. So this is Massive. This is the first the first part of the song here. You know, so once again, I'm not. It's getting a little late. I'm not gonna actually play everything I played. I'm just going through the track. These are really simple chords. These are no-brainers here. I went with a warm synthesizer on Massive, and I went with some stereo width, and I used a Saturn plugin by FabFilter. Oh, and it crashed. See, as I said before, it's like not good when your track is that big. That's why I'm condensing everything, or just gonna upgrade to Pro Tools 11, which is 64-bit, in which this bull shouldn't be happening, especially at like in the middle of the night, and you just like that just didn't happen. Right now the track's done with, so it's not all that bad, but it was getting a little frustrating when I was doing it, just for the fact of that it happened. Writing the music isn't frustrating, but when your track crashes on you, that's a little frustrating, especially when you get into the end of it. So this is all loading again, and we'll go back to beginning. What I found out is that what's going on is that Pro Tools can only handle so much, and I can only do up to certain things and certain clicks and things before it runs out of memory, and then it just goes kaput. Alright, so as I was saying, I used a lot of Massive for the intro. The actual bird calls in the song I got from a website, and they're actually birds. Although I kind of see it as like some kind of tribal call. It almost sounds like, but they are really birds. I'll show you what I mean. This guy right here. Oh wait, let's see. No, that's the stick. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Here's bird one. I labeled it bird one. This guy here. Okay, so that I added a lot of effects to. I added a deverb. I'll show you what it sounds like without any effects on it. Stereo width, and I even have guitar rig placed on that as well. I bet you it's gonna crash. Oh no, great. So the actual, I'll give you an example. Like the sample itself, it fucking crashed. It crashed again, but the sample itself doesn't sound anything like that. It's very dry and it's just like not echoey at all. So you take samples and you put a lot, you put a lot into it. I didn't put too much time into it, but enough time to make them very ambient that'll fit the track. And I want to see if there's a better way. Sorry to keep you around like this if you're even watching. So we'll go make it active. Yeah, but the sample itself very dry, not echoey. Didn't have the reverb to it. So you're adding reverb to it. You're adding echo. You're adding width to the sample to make it very wide. It's not like I'm taking a bird sample and I'm throwing it in a song and that's that. You know, the littlest detail, like you're taking one thing and you're actually putting work into it to make it sound a certain way. I don't think. Let me just see something real quick. I really wish it wouldn't crash so I can show you quickly what I mean. It's getting late here too, and my phone's probably gonna die because there's not that much battery juice in it. But I'll try to get this here. So there's a lot of effects in the song. Here we go. There we go. All right. So let me take I'll take the garage. I'm sorry, the guitar rig I have on the bird sample, and I'll take the reverb out so you can see what it sounds like. Because if I take the other things out, it's going to crash the computer. So this is kind of what it sounds like, but this is even enhanced as well. That was a sample, Very, very dry, very simple. I'll try to play it again. Very, very simple sample, but when you put the effects on it, they're going to sound like this. There's a little bit of a difference between that sound and just a very dry sound, and it's not like you're just taking things, throwing them in and being unauthentic, and just anyone could do this or that. You're being creative. You're adding echo and delay. You're making it timed with the track. You're creating enough reverb, but not over reverbing it that it's kind of too much and too fizzled. So it's a judgment call, and that's something I'm still working on and even getting better at. Currently, but I'm sure I'll get even much more better. I want to get to the best. I want to produce the best tracks. Around, or be someone that could produce some of the best tracks. And with me, it's not. I'm not looking to become ranked. I'm just looking to make the best tracks so that DJs could have the best tracks to play. It's not really a ego thing with me. It's like I'm looking to make the best tracks so that DJs will have the best tracks to play. Not just myself, but other people that are out there. So that's just an example of a sample. As for, let's see if I can find an arpeggio here that I use. Yep, ARP1. Now, let's say for the ARP, there's a lot of ways you can do the arpeggio. With this one I used, if we could get to it, up, see, running out of CPU power. I kind of added some effects to the beginning of it. And that's all done through modulation. Like that's all done. If you go to, let's see, FabFilter. Let's see. Sorry about that. See, my FabFilter thing's not even coming up. But to make all effects like that, you're going with the filter. I should be able to pull it up. Let's see. Isotope. Sorry about that. Massive. Isotope. Oh, okay. Wait, to add some of the effects, there is not enough memory. See, it's probably going to crash again. But the way I got effects was through the ProQ FabFilter, and you can kind of, let me shut this window. It's not letting me pull this up, the filter itself. Oh, and it crashed. But with the ProQ filter, you can kind of you can record live with it, and you can go in and select. I just go and I'll show you what I mean. You just go and select what you want to be able to control, and usually I just select everything and then find what I actually modulated with the ProQ. But as I said, once this pulls up, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And once again, I do apologize for the crashes here, but as frustrating as it is, even for this video, you should have seen when you're trying to finish the track. Ridiculous. Okay, so I went with this setting here. It's called the phone setting of all things. And no, I'm not a phone. That's just the name of the setting. But you go with this and you can see, I'll show you when the effects kick in, you're going to be able to see it, see this move. And I selected everything here, and then once the track gets going here in the beginning, you're gonna see that thing move slowly, and it's gonna go. That creates that effect. The equalization's going down, and then I pop it. Actually, and then I bypass it into the regular sounding ARP. Because if you don't bypass it, with that setting alone, it's still too much if it's not bypassed. And then you do different things like that with the plugins, different effects you give it, and it comes up. If you want to be exact about it, here it is coming up. So if you go to, let's say, band 4, it's it's the band 1 frequency, band 2 frequency, band 3 frequency, band 4 frequency, and band 5. So you go here, you select, we'll go to band 4 frequency. That'll come up, and this line here, as this went down, it goes down, and then it springs back up. And then you can be exact and use the line tool here, and then draw your lines evenly. I don't know if you could see that. You use this pencil tool. I'll just make a little thing here, and I'll just go here. I'll undo it, but you can, that's just basic stuff. But you can, make your lines exact. This way, things are exact with how the movement of the EQ goes down, and it's not, kind of shaking all over the place. Although you may want to make it shaky, that kind of adds some effect within itself. So all effects and everything are done with plugins and equalization, and you can also do effects with the plugins themselves. Like if you go to here, you can choose any effect here. You press add and OK, and then that gives you the ability to record live while it's playing and do different effects with all the knobs that make different sounds, cutoffs and resonance, although I never use resonance, but you can make effects with the delays and different amps, and down here you have different vibrato, punch, filters, different knobs that you can enable to record live with and give different effects, and then you can go back into it and see how the lines were shaped, and you can leave them as if, or you can use the line tool and then reshape to be exact, so it's kind of like doing a lot of editing, and within my track there's a lot of that going on. Even though it's a basic track, there's still a lot of that going on. So there's an arpeggio there. I added some synths with Massive. If it's not going to shut down, I could show you. Let's see here. I added a nice violin part with the piano and the breakdown. I kind of added 2 layers and made a layer. I have a string layer here. Let me show you. Let's see. So I have, I can get to it. Here we go. So, in the breakdown, you kind of have this right here. Actually, so this is the pad in the piano breakdown. And all this is being, played on the MIDI keyboard. These are, as I said, these are very simple chords, and very enjoyable to play. And then with that chord, I added an additional layer. I added another massive layer pad, this one here, to give it kind of more of a fuller effect. It kind of fades into it and then fades out at the end. You can hear it coming in now. So I kind of harmonized with the one layer, and then I faded the one that faded in. I faded it back out while leaving the other one in to kind of give it an ambient effect, and then I threw in a bird, I feel ridiculous saying that, but a bird call after that, in which there was one before that breakdown again. So there's 2 bird calls in the beginning, one before the breakdown in the middle, and one in the end, to kind of give it that, it's calling all tribes, so it's like someone's calling out and someone answering, that was just to give it that effect. And then of course, I'm not going to go on and on because I don't want to make the video too long, which is way long right now, and it's getting pretty late right now. But I just wanted to give you an overview, a quick overview. I did a lot of panning with the different layers. I'll show you. I don't go too heavy on the panning. Like I'll only go to about 80, on certain layers. Here is a layer I go 85 on the right, and you're supposed to pan to just maybe if you have two layers going, pan one of them to a little bit to the left, pan one a little bit to the right. This way it's creating stereo space and everything's not clumped in the middle. So I did that with a lot of layers. I also did key compression, as I explained. The kick drum, I'll show you the kick drum here is pretty ridiculous in that here are all the buses for the kick drum, right, going down. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 different buses set up for the kick drum. And pretty much what that would do would be, I'll give you a quick example. I have, let's say, the hi-hat here, and here's the hi-hat, and here's a compressor for the hi-hat, okay? And then you keychain the compressor, you add a bus, then you add a bus to the kick drum, bus 19 here, then I added the bus 19 there, and then you get a track here that pops up. And what this does, if it doesn't crash, because if it crashes, I'm going to be mega pissed off. Alright, let's see here. If I could get this going, this would be lovely. This way I could give you, show you. Let's see. I have to go back a little bit. Okay, so you have the ability to actually let me see if I could take that pad off there. So with the parallel compression, what you do that for is you want the track to be bouncy. You want it to be bouncy. You don't want the snares to be overlapping over the kick drum. So when the kick hits, you want it to push the snare out of the way a little bit. So you can hear that, and they're kind of too much together. But you raise this here, and you can hear it bouncing a little bit. You can actually even increase the now that's too much. That's too much. If you mess with the threshold and the compression. So you want to get it just right. You want to get it to where, at least in my choice, to where it's not bouncing too much, where you're losing the feel of the hi-hat. And you don't want it to be not enough to where it's just, there's no character to it, and it's just overlapping right over the kick drum. And I keyed compressed every single thing. 2 hi-hats, 1 snare, like a clapping hi-hat, a clapping rolling snare, a hi-hat, and a rolling snare. And those are just the drums. And then you have all of the pads, you have all of the arpeggios, I even key compress the effects in it, and I didn't even go over all the effects, but I key compress everything to the kick drum to give it that that bouncy effect, you know. What I did wrong was because I had so many things going on with the kick drum, with everything being keyed off to the kick drum. For some reason, I thought I needed an extra auxiliary track just for the compressor itself to be keyed off to the kick drum, but I didn't need an auxiliary track for those tracks. I could have just put the compressor on the track itself. So I was actually making more work for myself than necessary, and that's why I literally ran out of buses. Every single bus, well, every single one except for that one. This is my record out one. So I used every single solitary bus, which is pretty mind-baffling, and I created a lot more work for myself than I needed. But that's, you know, this is just a simple overview. I'm not going to go into machine. As I said, the patterns to make. Actually, you want to know what? I just venture. If this phone dies, it dies. But if I can open up machine, save, that would be splendid. And I'll just show you this way. You can see what is actually going on for the person that don't know. People are gonna be looking at this video and laughing, saying, why is he doing this? But if you saw or heard what I hear, then you'd understand why. So, you know, machine is loading up, and I labeled that file, open recent breaks. Here we go. I believe this is it. Yes, this is it. Okay, so this is machine. This is a totally different program. Now the pads are lit up, and I'll give you an example. This kick, let me see if I can just get that going. This is the kick of the actual song. I should turn the volume down. There we go. So that's the kick. How did I create the kick? Well, you create the kick with the pads here. I'll try to get the sequencer going. Let's see, step. Let's see, 16. Alright, there we go. The hell happened? Sorry, folks. Here we go. 164, 116. Okay, so you see that? You know, you're pressing pads here. Like I'll press, you know, these just for example, and it's going to pick up those beats there. Here, you know, there's nothing going, you know, and it's picking up those, and I did. There's a lot more to it than this section, so I did it sections at a time because it's more than a 16 count, the full length of the beat. And I will hold on 1 second. And then you of course go to, you know, the other parts of it are here too. And here's the, I'm making a complete ass of myself. And that's the other part to it. It's right here. You know, so you're creating the sequence of the beats. You also have this one here, you know. Dun, 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 dun. You know, that's You know, you're you're creating the beat. This is how you create beats. You know, what more can I say? And there's that other layer that I wish showed up more on the song. So it's like, you know, it's a lot of work going on, and what I explained in this video does no justice because there was still a lot more going on that I didn't even explain. You know, I added ozone plugins on the master fader and did some mid-inside EQing, and I did additional EQing with the track, added the Oxford limiter because I have the universal audio interface, so that's a good plugin to use. I use the Shadow Hills mastering compressor on the master track as well, and I chose the mastering loud option on that compressor, and then I additionally used some Ozone 5 on the master, and then I left enough headroom on the master fader to boost up the levels with the Oxford limiter, you know, to boost it up. So basically, that's everything that I can explain. Now, as I said, there's a lot more that I did that if I really wanted to, I could take up an hour and a half, but you know, there's no point in doing that. But I just wanted to post this to show people that, you know, I'm slowly but surely getting there, and the next track was a lot more enjoyable to write because that I'm almost done with because nothing's crashing. I'm not using as many auxiliary tracks, and I kind of you know, I made melodies, was able to work without things going on me, and it's enjoyable when you're able to creatively work in a free flow without having to worry about things crashing on you. So although every track I write is enjoyable, but that's all I have to say, and you know, hopefully I get some votes for some more votes for the song I posted, and if not, so be it. I just go on to the next track, and the next track, and the next track, and the next track, and just get better and better and better and better. You know, that's my goal. Just from here until through my 60s, because I plan on writing music the rest of my life, to keep getting better and better and better and better and better playing the piano, better producing the songs, even better on the turntables and scratching, and doing learning more effects on the decks. Because to tell you the truth, I've never stood behind a Pioneer CDJs, you know, and if I'm lucky enough to ever get anywhere, I know it's not gonna. I'll probably learn how to do that in 10 minutes, but there's a lot I have to learn and be knowledgeable about. But I have a wealth of knowledge that I've been able to accumulate already, and I just keep going. That's all. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And you know, good luck to everybody in the contest. And as I said, there's some really good tracks that I've heard over the last couple of weeks, and I hope to hear, you know, tracks going, staying at the level and getting better, because they're amazing. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.